Good morning, everybody. Matt Moda here to give you my favorite NBA player prop picks for today. We're talking Monday, October 27th. Happy Monday, everybody. Not really. The Splash Zone is back in your life. I'm going to have 3 NBA player prop picks for you guys to lock in for tonight's NBA betting slate. Pretty confident in the 3 that we have. I'm also going to give you guys some leans at the end as well in case any of those sound good to you. I only track the official plays that I give out, but I know that some people like hearing leans, so that's what we're going to do. Before we get into that, we're going to recap yesterday, which I know I'm just sounding like a broken record between this and the NFL. Another really frustrating day. We only got one of our plays to cash. Davion Mitchell, guess what? He ended with exactly 9 points. The reason why this one was frustrating was because he only played 8 minutes in the first half because he was in foul trouble. He had 2 fouls in the first quarter. He had 3 at halftime. So he only played 8 minutes. He scored 2 points in the second half, in the first half. In the second half, he played 16 minutes, scored 7 points to land on exactly 9. If he just didn't get into foul trouble, played a little bit more, we would have at least cashed the main line for him. Obviously, didn't score 15 points either. And then Cade Cunningham, the reason why this one was frustrating was because I had him at 3 plus made threes. He had 2 at halftime. Only took 1 attempt the rest of the second half. It came at the very, very end of the game that he missed. So was feeling good about Cade at halftime, was feeling bad about Davion Mitchell, and then they both ended up coming incredibly close to cashing. That's how it goes. So yesterday we were down a little bit less than a unit. We did play the Cade unit size a little bit lower. Unfortunately, we had to work our way back because the beginning of the year, the first 2 days, I went 0 for 6. We've been mediocre since then. So if you just take out those 2 days, we're basically breaking even. Unfortunately, you can't take out those 2 days. So working our way back into the green on the year. This is 1 week into the season. So confident that by the end of this week, we're going to be in the green on the year, but we got to get there first. Appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe. Check out Props Madness, which is the tool that you see me using right now. I'll walk you through how I use it, but if you're interested in checking them out, there's a link to them in the description of the video. So the first play is actually the guy you see on the screen here. The first game is 76ers versus Magic. I'm taking Tyrese Maxey, and I'm taking him 30 plus points. So right now his main line over under is 28.5. I'm just taking that up to 30 plus. That's best offered at plus 115 odds at Fanatics. And I really, really like backing Maxey in this spot. He's been fantastic to start the year. I mean, his closing line, he's gone over in both of them. Now, normally I like to come on here and fade recent results. We're kind of doing that with Maxey because he didn't score 30 points in his last game. But you look at the way he shot, a little bit of room for improvement. Now, he got to the line 12 times. That's awesome. He made 4 of 9 from 3. So he's obviously, that's not like 7 of 9, which is what he did against the Celtics. But he's only 7 of 20 from the field in a not that tough of a matchup against the Charlotte Hornets. So shooting 35% from the field, I do think that there is some room for improvement. And the biggest thing here is Joel Embiid is out for this game. It's his first game that Embiid has missed. Now, he's only playing about 20 minutes per game, but when he's on the floor, he's basically doing everything. So Maxey, when he blew up against the Celtics, especially the Celtics, it was basically from the second quarter on when Embiid was off the floor. And then against the Hornets, it was a little more mixed in, not quite only when Embiid was off the floor, but I do think that Embiid being out is just going to lead to more work for Maxey. And you look at Maxey, I mean, he had a tough year last year, but up until he got hurt, and you take out this game here against the Blazers, because this was the game he got hurt in, only played 23 minutes. You see that's a clear outlier in terms of his minutes played. So you just take that game out, limit him to 24 minutes to take that game out. He's over in 11 of 17 games. It was 10 of 16 to end the year last year. And you look at his closing line, like how often did he go over what his line closed at? 12 of 17 games. Now you look at specifically without Embiid, just make sure we're taking every game out that he played without Embiid over his closing line. So what his line ended at in 11 of 17 games. One of them, he went under, technically his closing line was against the Kings when his over-under closed at 31.5 and he scored 30 points. So good numbers that he has hit without Embiid. You look at these games that he's gone under, 29, 29, 28, 28, 29. He's come incredibly close and then finally started to go over after here. So I really like this matchup for Embiid. The Magic defense is good, but you look at last year, they were really beat up by guards like Maxey, high isolation, high pick and roll ball handling guards. Even though they literally gave up the fewest points per game via the above the break 3-pointer, that was all because they didn't allow anything via catch and shoot. Pull-ups, they allowed a decent amount. And that's why you see 12 of 15 guards, similar to Maxey, hit their point prop over. And you look at the names, it's who you would expect. Trae Young hit it a couple times. Harden went under, hooked it. Luka, and I'm not saying Maxey's as good as some of these players, but it's the same scoring profile. And Maxey's going to do everything. Obviously, PG's still out. Jared McCain is still out. Now, they have Edgecombe and they have Quentin Grimes. And I don't think Grimes is a terrible look at 14.5. Obviously, he really, really consistently went over this last year when he was playing. That was without basically everybody when it was only him. Now the difference is it's really just Embiid. And then, obviously, like I said, no Paul George and no McCain as well. But Edgecombe and Maxey are back, where Edgecombe is a rookie. He wasn't on the team, and Maxey missed the end of last year. His last game was March 3rd. And if you look at Quentin Grimes, all that scoring was after March 3rd. So he's a good look, but I like the look on Maxey a lot better. So 30-plus points for Tyrese Maxey as our first play. Next up, we're going to head to the Hawks versus Pistons. And I'm running back the same exact play that I took on, I guess this would have been Saturday. It was Jalen Johnson over 3.5 assists, even money at Hard Rock. You can also get even money at Bet365. Those are two pretty good prices that you're getting if you line shop that. Both are still available. I checked right before I started recording, and Props Madness pulled live odds. So this is currently available, at least when I'm recording this. If you're watching this and the plus 100 is no longer available, I would put 3/4 of a unit on 5+. That's how I would play it. Now, the thing with Jalen Johnson, he's currently listed as questionable. So he played against the Magic. Then the Hawks had a back-to-back on the next day on the 25th. He missed that game. I'm guessing that he's going to end up playing in this one. And then if he misses again, we just get it refunded. No harm, no foul. And I'll probably try and have a pivot for you. But I really like this play, the 3.5 assists for Jalen Johnson. He smoked the over in the first game of the year, 8 assists. But the most important thing here, 15 potential assists, 71 passes made. That is a phenomenal number of passes made. You look at the next game, not quite as good, obviously, only 7 potential assists, only converted 1 of them. In the Magic defense, I talked about how they're a good matchup for scoring guards. The inverse of that is they're a bad matchup for assist props in general. They don't really allow many assists. The Magic don't. So going 1 of 7 in that tough matchup honestly doesn't really scare me off at all. And if anything, it makes me like it a little bit more because you just expect natural regression in terms of his assists to potential assists. He's going to most likely have more potential assists. And the matchup against the Bulls is fantastic. The Bulls have, right now, technically they're listed as giving up the second fewest assists. Stats are wonky at the beginning of the year. If you go off of last year, the Bulls allowed, I guess this is still going off of this year, but the Bulls were always an assist team over the last couple years. That's just how they play defense. So Jalen Johnson at 3.5, I really like. And you look at last year, the 4th somewhat, I will admit, does seem to be a key number. Like if you look at how we ended the year going over 3.5, 75% of the time. If you look at what his line closed at, it pretty much consistently closed at 4.5. And a lot of times he landed on exactly 4. You kind of see that here. But at the 3.5 number, I really like. In the 5+, I do still think there is some value because of the matchup and because of the potential assists and stuff like that. Jalen Johnson, the Hawks wanted Trae Young to not basically do everything and then stand on offense. So getting guys like Jalen Johnson involved, 71 passes in the first game, even 46 passes made in the second game is pretty good. Was in foul trouble, 5 fouls, 2 in the first. So 3.5 assists for Jalen Johnson, I think is solid. That's play number 2. And then our third and final pick of the video, heading over to the Nets versus Rockets. And I'm actually going with Reed Sheppard, and I'm taking him on the PRA. Now, for whatever reason, it says there's no offer here. Bet365 is offering him at 14.5 at -120. So that is the official play that we are locking in. If for whatever reason you cannot bet that, I do think a good pivot is just take his points at 9.5, which not every market has it available, but Hard Rock and Flip, Bet365 has it as well. I like the PRA for Reed Sheppard, but we'll kind of talk through each one. So for the points, he's obviously landed on 9 in each game. So he's come close to the over-under of 9.5. And if he scores 10 points, that's going to help us with our 14.5 PRA, obviously. But you look at how he shot, 3 of 11, 3 of 11. He really hasn't shot that well. And he didn't play a ton against the Pistons because that game was close. And I think they want to give him more run, but they really didn't have a chance because, like I said, that game was close. But against the Nets, who are like the worst team in the entire NBA, I think he's going to play more than the 20 minutes, probably closer, maybe like 25 is kind of what I'm thinking for Reed Sheppard. So I just think that natural regression from a shooting perspective, he's not going to shoot 27% every single game, especially in a much, much better matchup against the Nets. And then I think that there is some positive regression coming for the both rebounds and more so the assists. Because if you look at him, so the first game of the year, rebound chances 2 of 5. Second game of the year, rebound chances 2 of 5. That's probably what we're going to expect. Maybe if he plays more, his rebound chances will be closer to 6 or 7, and then he'll get 3 rebounds as opposed to 2. But I do think that 2 to 3 rebounds is safe. It's really the assist. He really hasn't had a good assist game yet. 4 assists on 10 potential assists the first game, 1 assist on 4 potential. So he hasn't had a good assist to potential assist ratio game. But those are 2 tough defenses. Like the Thunder, best defense in the NBA. The Pistons, good defense that also limits assists. For the Pistons, you want to take guard point props against them. You don't want to take assist props. So only 4 potentials kind of makes sense. Only converting one of them is just bad luck. That stuff's going to happen. But I think that across the board, we're set up for positive regression, both with the points, rebounds, and assists. So I just said, why not combine them into one play? So that is our third and final pick of the video. So the 3 official plays that we are tracking here is Reed Sheppard over 14.5 PRA, Jalen Johnson over 3.5 assists, and Maxey 30+ points. In terms of leans, I'll go through a couple for you guys. The one that I was really close to taking, I like literally had it typed out to send out, then decided against it, was Ja Morant and his assists. Right now you can get 8+ assists for like +146 at FanDuel. It's a weird year for the Grizzlies. I mean, they won their first game, and then they won their third game by 25, and then in between they lost by 32. But you look at the potential assists for Ja, also screams positive regression. 3 of 10, 6 of 14, 8 of 15 is kind of more in line with what you can expect. 8 of 15 is not crazy outlier either way. It's about average. But the matchup against the Warriors, look at how point guards have performed against them. Over-unders of 5.5 for all 3 guys, 11, 10, and 9. So all 3 of them have smoked their assist prop over. And they're generally, that's how the Warriors play defense. They're generally an assist team. What held me off of Ja Morant is he's not really passing a ton. So I wonder, like, are the 10 potential assists going to be closer to what he's averaging? Like last year, potential assist, he averaged about 11.6 per game. We're asking him to get 8 assists on that average. That's a little bit scary. That's kind of what held me off of Ja Morant. I also looked at Donovan Mitchell. I mentioned you want to take guards against the Pistons, but Donovan Mitchell is just, I mean, he's been good, obviously 2 of 3 games, but second half of a back-to-back, and you can't always trust Donovan Mitchell to score, so I decided to hold off of that. So just going to rock with these 3 plays. Appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe. Check out Props Madness. Walk you through how I use them. Check out my Tails account. This is just where I send every play out. So you see like the Reed Sheppard play with some notes, some background info and stuff, the Jalen Johnson play. This is just where I send everything out. So if you want a tail, but you don't want to watch the YouTube videos, this is for you. Again, thanks for watching. Make sure to bet responsibly and have a good one.